Three, two, one. How's it going, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash. Here is today's comic, Daredevil number 12, by Zdarsky, Checchetto, and Woodard. Through Hell, Part 2. I just did issue 11. Actually, I recorded it yesterday. Published it yesterday. This will probably go up tomorrow, so it'll be probably a two-day gap. I'm thinking it'll go up tomorrow. Anyways, by the time you get it, you'll know number 11 was out. I don't know when these things are going up. But originally this was going to be a single video for 11 and 12. I'm so long-winded, I can't do that. So here's a dedicated video to number 12. Number 11 is primo. If you didn't watch that video, if you're jumping onto Daredevil, this is not the one to do it. Part 1 is. Let's get started with the comic. Opens up with the credits. I'm not going to go and read what's happened before. I did that on the last issue. You should be caught up. Actually, if you're watching this video, hopefully you did read the books. We're just going to go over my thoughts on the book. It starts off with fake Daredevil in trouble. You hear about Nance? No, what? Suspended. Serious? She's missed by the book. What the fuck does she do? Made a bust in the kitchen, the kind that gets coverage. Ha! Amazing. Serves her right. If you're going to be the type of cop who follows the rules, then you follow the fucking rules, you know? And the rule is, laws don't mean shit in the kitchen these days, and neither do you, Neighborhood Watch. So, we done here? I gotta start my shift at 10. Don't mind finishing this fool, but I'm not gonna be around for the cleanup. I think a couple of more. I've listened to everything, thought it all through. I hear all the heartbeats. There's a knock at the door. What the One of you order a call, girl? I got this. This may not be the best plan, but who the fuck are you? Officer, my name is Michael Melton, and you are unlawfully detaining my client. It's the one that gets everyone out whole. So, we come to a point in the book where fake Daredevil, we left off the cliffhanger in the last issue, is being held by these corrupt cops, and Matt Murdock is kind of in a midlife crisis with his superhero career, and he wants to still help people, but he's guilt-ridden by accidentally killing someone, and it's preventing him from being the hero that he's been as Daredevil. It's put mental blocks on him. He still wants to help. He doesn't want to hurt anyone. So he comes up with this idea, which I thought was kind of cool, to get Foggy to come in, and he shows up. He's got a phone, and he's got another set of lawyers on the other end that if anything goes bad, they're going to immediately send cops over. And he says, you're illegally detaining my client. Let him go, and we'll be on our way, and there won't be any problems. So the cops are like, what should we do? And then the other ones, well, we uncuff them. Of course, this is their only real solution. Unless they're gonna kill Foggy, which would bring the wrath of the other cops. They would all be, it would just be a terrible idea. So Foggy, of course, is he can't let things go. He makes this dumb comment. Danger's his middle name. Daredevil's just screaming inside, Foggy, just get out, don't. And then one of the cops comes up to him, before you disappear from my life forever, Michael Danger Nelson, do me a favor. Sure, what? Show me your phone. At which point Foggy's like, oh fuck. And they're like, do it. And Daredevil says, Foggy was plan A, but I'm plan B. And you can see, of course, it was a ruse. He didn't actually have anyone on the line. And it was a good plan, I think. But Daredevil intervenes, disarms the man, tells Foggy to run. Get out of here! And he dives in, and he takes on these 4 cops. The narration here is really freaking cool. Stay calm. Take out the guns. He gets choked from behind. You don't need to hurt them. So he's really kind of just holding back. just disarm, hold them off long enough for Foggy to get away. And he's gonna, rear naked choke here. He can't breathe, so he dives backwards, goes out a window. This is a really cool shot. You can just see the alley below and the fire escape. Kind of sucks that they did some tracing here of an actual fire escape. This looks like tracing. I guess it could all just be rulers, but it looks really... Anyway, I'm not going to complain about that. The shot looks good. And Daredevil's realized he's kind of out of his league here because he's fighting with one arm tied behind his back. And so he's like, I just need to get the cops away. I can hear Foggy. And Daredevil almost out of the building. And so he leads him up to the roof. He's like, I got to be smart. Then we get to the Kingpin, who's meeting up with basically a bunch of robber baron guys. He's trying to elevate his career. He's decided, I've been a crime boss. I'm mayor of New York City now. The real power is in going straight and becoming, mega corporation, becoming, maybe president or, bigger. He's got bigger ambitions. So he's kind of left his crime lord days behind in order to step forward and, try to seize these ambitions. To which he talks about true power. So yeah, he's invited to this dinner with all these super powerful people, and they greet him. And there's this one asshole you can kind of see here in the middle of the love seat, sitting here with his legs crossed. This is Tyrone. He's going to be a problem. Then we cut back to Daredevil. Who's on a rooftop. The cops come. So he's kind of still delaying, and he says here, I can still hear Foggy in the building. Why is he still in the building? I've got to finish this somehow without... Then he sees a gun. Nothing to throw. Won't get it in time. He's go, track the gun. Where is this pointing? Finger twitch. That's one of the cool things I always love about Daredevil with his heightened senses. He can hear when the trigger's being pulled, so he knows the right time exactly to dodge. Zdarsky's really done his homework in capturing a lot of the best elements of Daredevil. And a lot of those elements come from the Frank Miller days, who's my favorite Daredevil writer. You get some cool action here in this rooftop fight. The stakes feel real because Daredevil's just not... He doesn't whoop ass on everyone. Look, he takes his licks. He realizes there's a really cool scene. These men, these monsters. I'm so weak. God, they don't fear you. They don't fear me. They don't... And he can just, this is his point of view. And that's one thing I do like Zdarsky does, is capture Daredevil's perspective. We cut back to the dinner. And Fisk is just trying to, mind his manners and, hobnob with these guys. And we get this Tyrone guy, He's like, I've purchased their government for the 2022 to 2030, so the transition will be smooth. He's talking about some foreign region of the world. And they're like, fun, but I feel we've excluded our special guest with all this international talk. So tell us, Wilson. And, they're asking about his international dealings, and he talks about, yeah, I've done some of that. It's mostly been in spices. And this Tyrone guy is like, spices straight up your nose, I'm assuming. And they're like, Ty, don't insult our guest. To which, Wilson Fisk is like, it's okay. I've done some unsavory things in the past or whatever. But this Ty guy, he just doesn't let up. And he keeps poking the bear. And Wilson is, he's Wilson Fisk. He's like, you're wondering, how long is he going to take this? The other guys are a little bit more, respectful and cordial. They don't do that. And you can see as it goes on, look at, Wilson here is just kind of like, and then you get to the next page and it's a little bit more, we see, this Thai guy is like, he's talking about privatized prisons, and now they have a little bit of a conflict of interest because Wilson wants to legalize marijuana. He's already bought up the land to set up the distribution of legal marijuana, to capitalize all the things that in corrupt government. But this other guy, Ty, actually, it's not Ty. There's another gentleman here that's into the prisons, and the legal marijuana gets a lot of people into prison. So he's not in favor of the legalization. And I thought it was a really cool way to inject politics into the comic, but done without preaching to the reader. Again, that's so important. It's done here for the aspect of seeing the corruption in politics and seeing the special interests. Wilson's got interest in seeing it legalized because he has all the land and he wants to start capitalizing on the distribution of marijuana. This other guy likes that illegal marijuana sends tons of people to prison, which he's invested in. So they're naturally at odds, just purely because of money and special interest. Nothing because of politics, really, actually. So it's really not political. It's really just greed. But you just know as you're reading this, you're like, that's just totally how our government works. That's what's one of the biggest problems is all the special interest money that's tied into government. So Wilson Fisk eventually, he's getting kind of this passive aggressiveness from this Tyrone guy, and he just stands up. Would you be able to point me to your washroom? He says, and he's just trying to keep his composure. And as he's walking out, you can see the word balloons from the people inside. Ty, quit playing with the man. What? Isn't that why we invited him? The man is a bit of a specimen, Quinn, you must admit. Of course, but with a man like that, you need to be subtle about it, so it'll fly over his head. Too close to his head and he'll eat it. Ha ha ha. Oh, Tyrone. And they're joking. And, it's like talking behind his back. And Wilson's not a man to take that sort of stuff. It's all out of control. And I love the, is it the juxtaposition? Is that the right word? Where you jump to Daredevil saying it's all out of control, but the writer is also kind of saying here, it's all out of control. Wilson's losing control. And it just flows so well. Now Foggy jumps in out of nowhere and starts swinging his briefcase and jumps in the fight. Now he's actually just making it worse because, now Matt has to save Foggy. But Matt's in a position too. This is just terrible. And he's like, this is why Daredevil failed, why I can never go back. It's only ever worked if I had control of the situation or myself, but I don't. I don't think I ever did. And then fake Daredevil gets punched and he's falling backwards. He's going to fall off the building. No! And Matt leaps to his aid and grabs him by the boot. Nobody dies. Nobody. And he starts just getting pounded, but he's just holding on to this guy, and you're like, what's going to happen? And then Elektra shows up. There's nothing sadder than a man who won't admit he needs help. Oh my God, Elektra, you didn't kill them. I did not. Because I wanted to show you it can be done. Your pitiful compulsion saving people without casualties. I can show you how. Train with me. Become the man you once were. Become better than that man. And so she embraces her arm in arm. Then we cut back to Wilson. You're Wilson Fisk. You run the greatest city in the world. These people, they play the game, Wilson. It's a new game, but it's still a game. He's trying to get his composure. You're in control. You're in. Knock, knock. Hey, man, come on. And he's just like, ugh. And there's Tyrone. He's like, I'm sure there's like 15 toilets in this place, but I ain't about to get lost. And I'm assuming there's still a working toilet in here? He's just that shit-eating grin. I mean, you've got to go through your share of toilets, man. Am I? And Wilson's had enough. Look, it just grabs him by the face. Pulls him inside the bathroom, and then the fear of God sets in. And Wilson just stares down with the eyes of the devil. Because Wilson's the real devil. And just suffocates him. Just looks like he jabs a thumb. Or actually, I guess maybe he doesn't suffocate him. I guess he's muffling him so he can't scream as he sticks a thumb through his eyes. There's just blood pummeling him. Just blood. And then that just face on Wilson. He's just had enough. He has never been able to take it. This is a guy with an anger issue. And then after it's all over, he's realized what he's done. Oh, shit. And that's the final scene. And you're just like, oh, no. And the thing about this comic, this is next issue. The thing about this comic is you don't care for Wilson because he's a good guy. You care because it's a good story and there's good character development. And so you're very genuinely interested. Is Wilson going to pull this off? Is he going to go straight? Is he going to seize power? You're interested in following his storyline. Like I said, not necessarily because you care about him and you root for him, but you're just hooked in knowing what happens next. That's great writing and great character development. Even for villains. Like, I still don't like Wilson. I think the guy's just a monster, but he's such a well-conceived character the way Chip Zdarsky's writing him here that you're just glued to this book. And look at Checchetto's, illustrations. The scene here, the blood, the look of horror on Wilson's face. Not because he killed a man. He's killed plenty of men, but he's just like, he may have just destroyed his career, maybe going down to prison. He's just like, he's lost control, and he's horrified at that. This was an excellent book. I don't think it was quite up to the last issue, but that is maybe purely subjective. I just really loved how Spider-Man was handled. It was such a great start. This is a really worthy follow-up. This arc is off to a great start. This is one of the best comics on the shelf, bar none. As long as Checchetto is drawing and Chip Zdarsky is writing, this is a stellar team. This is about as good as you're going to get today to the equivalent of Frank Miller and David Michelini back in the 80s. Not David Michelini, that's a writer. Dave Mazzucchelli, one of my favorite artists ever. He also did Batman Year One. That artist, that was one of the best writer-artist pairings. This is the equivalent of today's day and age in comics. This would have flown well in the 80s and 90s. It's that good. I hope that you got something out of this. I hope that you're enjoying Daredevil along with me. I hope that I'm not just here to spoil the books for you. Let me know what you think. This is a high recommend book. I'm so excited that Checchetto's back because it just was not the same without him. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be sure to bring up the next issue unless everyone hates these these ones. I'll stop talking about Daredevil, but I don't think you guys do. Next issue, cannot wait for. All right, see you next time.